Hi there guys, it's Enlusion here, and welcome to the new walkthrough video where I'll show how I made Limerence, my new track, which is also 150th release of my own label Forescape Digital. So let's get into it and start from one of the most interesting parts, the vocal chops. So, those of you who are familiar with the track know how it sounds, this loop, but I will play it for you. Okay, quite simple, you may say, but let's see the original sample out of which I made it. So, originally, it sounds like this. And that's it. How similar, right? So, after listening to this loop for quite a while, I mean the original sample, I just started moving different tones, different voices, different sounds of this loop up and down. So I started from this. You can see that this one is 5 semitones up. For example, it sounds like this. If I move it back to the original form, you see the male voice became a female voice. Same goes for this one. It's also 5 semitones up. If I just move them back to the original format, well, not quite good, right? So, um, you will basically notice that I moved the samples here and there, and they are a bit off the grid, and that's because I used the groove, uh, this one, swing. So if I just add a separate track, oh, I don't need a audio, I need a MIDI track. If I just add this one, this is the groove of the track which I used. So I just moved these samples according to the grid. And I zoomed in at absolute maximum, believe me. So every sound here is according to the grid. I made it manually. Don't even ask me why, because let's just remain here. So yeah, all samples are according to this grid, which is, well, not quite standard, and this is how the twisted groove comes in the track. And all sounds in this track, absolutely every sound is according to this grid. Okay, so these two sounds are 5 semitones up, then this one as well. I think most of them are 5 semitones up. Okay, this one is also a bit of detune, so it's like half semitone down. And I don't quite remember why I made it so. Ah, yeah, because it was a bit too bright, I would say, so I made it darker this way. And this one is also 5 semitones up. Yep. And it goes until I think this one. No, it's also like this. Yeah, so after all, I used another sample to end the loop, and it's just a complete single hit. You can see that I made it 1 semitone up and decreased it, the tone a bit, the tune, with the tune by 18 semitones, or however you call it. Because I do not like this one. This, yeah, because I actually moved it full tone up. Originally, it's like this. Let me try to play it solo. Yeah, so I moved it full tone upper. and I wanted both this one and this separate one to remain on the track because they just added some variety, you know. Yeah, and then it wasn't enough for me, so I made some automations. This is the automation of the reverb. Of course, there's quite a lot of sidechain. Let's see how many how much sidechain is here. Okay, quite a lot, 85%. Some saturation, then I moved it a bit in mono by like 15%, and some EQ, and then also I added some movement to this loop with Replica XT. And what it does, you can just hear here. And then one more moment from this loop. Let me just find it. Yeah, it's these two sounds. So basically, it's absolutely the same sound, but it just starts with from different points. Absolutely the same. You can just compare. Look at here, example. Sorry, and here. Let me zoom it out. Okay, I cannot show it like this, but just believe me, it's this absolutely the same sound, but it starts from different points. Just I think if I try to remember, it's going down here, and if I open this one, yeah, it's a bit earlier. And so this added even a bit more variation, you know, because otherwise these two sounds would have been the same. Okay, I think I could have made a separate video about these vocal chops because I really worked my ass off with them. So let's move to the other parts. Okay, leads. Oh, this was painful. Okay, so initially it was only this lead, which you know from my tracks Amber and Midnight Mirage at least. I love this lead, but then I sent it for the feedback to, I will not say to whom, and he told me, okay, it's a nice track, but there's a worse part of this track that you again use the same lead sound. And I was like, ah, I hate this, but okay. I spent another week and made layering and added two more layers to this lead. So the first one was this one actually. And then I added the upper part to make it cut through the mix. The most mainstream kind of trance synth, but it worked. So together they sound like this. Let me just find the moment when the filter is open. Well, I played a lot with the automations here, you can see this. And a different synths play louder in different parts of this loop. Yes, I'm automated even this, because some people on Transfix will call this robotic. Okay, well, I'm not robot yet, let's go further. So, yeah, this is about the lead. Well, reverb, sidechain, some cool synths, you know. Um, well, a lot of EQ, really, a lot of EQ. When you do the layering, you must work very precisely. And then I also grouped all of them, all these leads, and added the saturation to brighten up the spectrum. Okay, yeah, this was a really painful part to me, because first I was trying to find the right melody, and then I worked on this layering. And what is this? Ah, it's the same. Okay, because there were different melodies throughout the track, and I came up with this one in the last week of working on it. Okay, then kick and bass. Oh, this is also very creative. So the kick itself, quite simple. I made it very short. I removed almost entire body of this poor kick. You can see how I murdered it. Made some compression here because there were a bit too much punch. Some auto filtering here and there. Where did I use this? Nowhere. Excellent. Okay, let's go next. What about this auto filter? Okay, it's also not used. Phenomenal. Yeah, I'm just wondering why I left them here. Okay, some EQ, I guess. Ah, okay, this is also not doing anything. Phenomenal. I have plugins that do nothing. Yeah. Professional, you see here, right? Okay, some more control, like Preset says. I just loved how it worked, so I just remained with this one. So that's how I made the kick, basically. Just some random things really made it happen. And then the sub bass. Okay, sub bass again consists of audio, and well, I played a lot of this. If you play it in solo, it doesn't make sense, but together with kick, it's quite nice. And well, there's a lot of micromanagement of these sounds to not make them click, because if you do this incorrectly, you will have clicks with instead of the sounds, actual sounds. You can see that this one is like fade in, then I have some fade outs actually in some other parts. Yeah, and this just goes throughout the track. It's the same loop, but the variation is made by this um, synth. It's the mid bass, and I was looking for this particular sound, this particular preset for the mid bass for quite a lot. I think for about 3 days I was trying to find it, and in the end I found it. It's quite angry when it's filter up. Yeah, I will definitely use it more. Yeah, until some experienced producer will tell me that, okay, that was enough, stop using it. Yeah, so this sound has quite a lot of automations on filter routing, on some other things like cutoff and stuff. Yeah, so that's how I made it. Some stereo work, so I moved it even more in stereo. And then don't even ask me why I made a group for this separate track, but I made some compression here. I added some saturation, some more sidechain, some EQ, and also house effect. Of course, if your track consists of not only sub bass, but you also have mid bass, then you should put it in using the house effect more in stereo. This would work better for your mix, and I use this all the time. Okay, that we only went through these things, so let's go through the perks. Now, a lot of them, a lot of single sounds which I used, but some of them are not that hard, like this one, which is just an open head. You can see that I made it shorter. I transposed it down to semitones. I moved it in mono by 40%. I removed the low frequencies, some of the higher frequencies as well, because I don't need those dirty frequencies here. Some things removed here as well. And I think I also used some default preset, yeah, for deharshing the 4 kilohertz area. And I think there is some automation here, yeah, for the pitch, I believe. For the detune, yeah, you will hear it here. You could hear it, I believe. Then it's the clap. So I've only used the clap sound itself. I liked how it sounded, so I used it. And I turned it up in this area a bit, in the high frequencies, because otherwise it was sounding a bit muted. And added, of course, some reverb and house effect to make it sounding better in the mix, sounding better in terms of stereo. Then, what is this? Just a single sound of head in the left channel. Yeah, it's bent to the left by 25 something panorams, I don't know, meters, miles. Okay, next up, shaker with some velocity work. This shaker will make you move, you know. You just need a shaker and a kick with bass, okay. It makes me move in my chair, so it should make you move too, whenever you are, wherever you are. Okay, next, here comes the craziness. So here comes the moment where I started adding single shots, single sounds. Just one sound. Boom, in the right channel. But this shot percussions add movement and add more rhythm. And the second one, I used it in the previous track. Yes, I'm guilty. But anyway, it works. So I don't care. Okay, next, a ride. Quite a lot of sidechain, of course, and I made it shorter. Also, I moved it more in stereo using house effect. Some EQ, because it was initially sounding a bit too dirty. And what else? Okay. Actually, there was some automation on this ride. I don't remember doing this, to be honest. Okay. Looks like I made it too. Why should I even make it? Okay, it doesn't matter. And some auto filtering, of course. This is the breakdown part. Quite simple. I think there is automation of the entire group here. Yeah. Before the drop section here. Okay, next what we have. This, I think these are toms in the left and right channel. Yep, classic. I think I've already used it in previous projects, so I use different toms. Transpose them up and down. Yep, this and this. And let me just quickly check how I made it this time. Okay. Looks like I made it here. Yeah, so I panned this tom 50 something to the right, and this one is panned exactly to the left, 50L, you can see here. I think this should sound phenomenal in the club. Okay, then even more percussions, even more single shots. So for example, this one is panned 35 to the left. And I think I've only used this part. Yep, only this part. And that's it. Nothing else from the entire loop. And some people were creating the loop. And I've only used the part there, right? Okay, next, this sound. Again, I've only used a very small part of it. Just these two sounds. Next, these are more groovy things. Yeah, these are playing in mono, I think. Yeah, to work better with the kick and bass. And these percussions cut through the mix and make the low end fuller, I think. And not only the low end, the mid end as well, if you even have such thing as mid end in English. Okay. And I think there's also another sound here. Yeah. Let me solo it. Yep, this one. And I think it's this. Yep. So I made even these automations. For example, the first sound out of 3 is band 25 to the left, the second one is 20 to the right, and the third is, well, almost 25 to the right. Yeah. I just wanted more variety. It wasn't enough for me. And it was a bit robotic, you know. Okay, next step. These are lower toms, I think. Yep, some more toms. Yep, I don't remember why I added them, but I made it. Then, what else? Okay, I've already showed this and this. And then we have some effects, I believe. Yeah, here you can see that I worked on the groove even for this transitional element. So I think initially it sounds like, let me find it. Oh, it's recorded, right? Yeah, I think it's recorded. Ah, yeah, so that's the difference. And here it sounds like this. You can notice the groove. Then there's also this sound. Significantly reminds me of Rick P. O'Neill. So I keep using it. Then my typical vocal atmospheres, and I actually used different ones this time. Yes, I tried very hard in this project. I even changed the atmospheres. Yes, I used different sample packs. Again from Laniakea, but nobody else does them. Yeah. You can see the fade ins, fade outs everywhere. You can see how I transpose them. Yeah, that's how I made them all in the same key in C minor. And initially they were in 7 or even 8 different keys. And here, well, it's under a filter initially, and then they open up a bit later in the track. But there's, of course, a lot of reverb. Okay, next, these are effects. This is not interesting, like simple white effects. Very simple. I also add house effect, some reverb as well, quite a lot of it actually, and sidechain. Then my typical crash. Then this is the uplifter. Not interesting. Some white noise again. Okay, sorry. And then some pads, and this is the part of the drop. Yeah, so initially I also used some pads in the beginning of the track. Pad stabs, yes. Some nice dub techno vibes. All these sounds are different. This one you can see it's 2 semitones down, then this one 2 semitones up, this one is 4 semitones down. But most importantly, they are in the same key this way. And the sponsor of this is this plugin by Mixed in Key. It's phenomenal. Mixed in Key Studio Edition. I highly recommend it to any producer. It's, well, just a no-brainer to get, really. Especially for producers like me who cannot hear the keys. And, well, I just have to open the software and find out what is the key of this certain sound. Yeah, just in case nobody paid me for this, I make this advert for €0. Yeah, so quite a lot of these steps, and let's focus on this part because I think the sounds just repeat themselves here in the intro. Yep, if we move here, this part. This hypnotic part after the breakdown, I think it's the favorite part of the track for many of you. And then after this part the lead comes in. This melody looks quite simple, so I think really anyone could make it, but some moments I just love them, like this one. This is so nostalgic, you know. Yeah, such a nice melody. Who else will tell me about it if not myself? Okay, next. What's next? I saw a comment on the previous video of mine that I had to play the entire track, so let's go, for example, starting from this part. yeah, that's how this sample sounds till the end. But I've only used this part. Okay, so this was the Limerence. That's how I made it. 4 weeks of sweat like every evening, and finally it's alive. It's on Beatport, and you can now purchase it and support me here. So thank you for watching, and see you in some the next video. Bye for now.